My husband, 37, took his nephew, tween, in after his dad, my husband's brother, was diagnosed with cancer. He told me his nephew would stay with us until his dad completes his chemo treatment. I agreed, although he didn't consult me about it first. I told him that he'd be his responsibility, not mine. He asked me to explain why, and I said that it was because 1, he didn't consult me before taking his nephew in, and 2, I'm not equipped nor experienced in taking care of and being committed to childcare. I still have to cook and clean. He said it was fine, and he'd be taking care of him alone. The other day he called me in the afternoon, saying he was stuck in a 2-hour meeting, and asked if I could go pick his nephew up from school. I said I was having lunch with my mom and discussing family issues. He insisted, but I reminded him that he said he'd be taking care of his nephew, including school pickup and drop-off. I suggested he try to get off work or call some family member to go pick him up. He tried to argue, but I hung up. I went home at 3 and surprisingly found my husband there. He was angry. He started yelling at me, calling me selfish and unfeeling. I told him that his lack of management wasn't my fault. He yelled, saying that my lunch with mom could have waited, but I chose to be petty to prove a point. I said that wasn't true and told him to get over himself and stop acting like he was the victim when he put himself in this situation, knowing he wouldn't commit. He yelled that he was trying to do all he could to help his brother out, but it was me who was playing victim after I refused to help out. So we argued some more, and I ended up staying with my mom for the night. I turned my phone off when he texted me some choice words. We're still arguing about it. Am I the idiot? You are the idiot. I suggested he call some family members to go pick him up. That's exactly what he did. His wife, who should be a partner in a relationship. You're displaying zero empathy for a family suffering through the effects of cancer. Your husband may lose his brother and your nephew, his dad, but you'd rather score petty points because you weren't consulted about helping a family going through chemotherapy. You better hope you never get cancer because I'm not sure you'll have a support system. Darn, this must be so hard for you. Driving to a school, then picking up a kid. Then you have to go home. All of it interrupts your lunch date with your mom. Oh, the humanity. His dad has cancer. Get a grip and stop being a self-centered child. He's not a stupid dog. You can't just say, you brought him home, he's not my problem. Also, weird that you're married, yet you chose to call this child your husband's nephew. And never once did you say, our nephew, even though you are his aunt by marriage. This story reads like her husband is her annoying roommate and not her husband/partner. Seems like a very individualized situation instead of a partnership. Plus, regardless, how is any of this the nephew's fault? Why take it out on him? Yes, he should have made sure it was okay with you first, but I'm sure his mind was concerned for his sick brother, and he just assumed his wife would help both family and himself out. I don't believe that makes him the idiot. You, on the other hand, acted like he put the weight of the world on your shoulders by asking you to do one thing for his nephew. If you don't care enough about your nephew to pick him up, the least you could have cared about was your husband's job, that you made him leave early. You sound very self-centered, and I'm not sure how this marriage will work for you. You married a man who would do anything for his family, and with marriage being a team effort, you've shown you wouldn't lift a finger for his. So, for background information, I'm nearly an adult female, and I live with my mom. I moved in after going no contact with my father. Within the last year, my mom and I have started arguing. She expects me to go to school, work my main job, work at my internship that she pressured me into getting, and clean the house. I am so overwhelmed at all times, and I can barely keep up. I've tried telling her about this, but she won't listen. She won't listen to me no matter how I approach the situation. I'm honestly at my breaking point. So, about 2 months ago, we had another big fight, and I told her that if she didn't make any effort to listen to me or acknowledge my feelings, I would stop putting effort into our relationship. I waited a while, and when I realized nothing was changing, I stopped putting effort into our relationship completely. I started only giving her one-word responses and tried to be away from the house when she was there. I would only leave my bedroom to use the bathroom. Today she texted me and asked about my senior pictures and how to look at them online. I said that she couldn't because there was no way for her to log in. And it wasn't a big deal because my grandmother and I had already ordered them, and they were on the way and she could see them. She blew up and accused me of not including her in ordering my senior pictures. This isn't true because 2 days before, when we were at my grandmother's, I said that they were available to order and she didn't say a word. So I reminded her of that and that she was making a huge deal out of nothing. She then started threatening me with putting Life 360 on my phone. She always threatens me with that when she's mad. But this time I told her no, that she wouldn't be doing that because it's my phone and I paid for it. My grandmother bought the phone for my birthday and I paid my phone bill. She said that that was her house and that my car was hers too. But that's also not true because the car was a gift from my grandmother for my last birthday. I said that she could start paying for the insurance and gas if it was her car. She told me I could either put Life 360 on my phone or she would take my car. I said, okay, you can find a way for me to get to school 30 minutes away and work 45 minutes away and my internship 25 minutes away. After going back and forth for at least 45 minutes, I told her that she was one of the most selfish and childish people I knew, that I hated being around her and talking to her, and that she had destroyed our relationship. I again told her that she never listens to me and constantly invalidates me and my feelings. She said she doesn't listen because I'm always attacking her. I then told her that if she continued treating me this way, I would be looking into emancipation. I've been crying since this morning because I love my mom, but I don't understand why she's been treating me like this. So, am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Your mother is very dismissive of you, your feelings, and your emotional well-being and stress. She also seems quite entitled with her threatening to take away things from you that she had no right to, as she didn't buy them or contribute to them. Her lack of care towards you would have worn away at your relationship regardless of if you had stopped putting effort into the relationship. She clearly had stopped doing that a while ago. Your mother not listening to you when you informed her of the photos is evidence of that. I'm sorry that you're in such a difficult place right now, OP. I hope you're able to reach out to people in your life for support. The mom is psycho, and you all act like it's the kid's responsibility to roll over and take it. Putting Life 360 on anyone's phone would destroy any relationship. Her pathetic attempts to control you, your life, and your stuff are laughable. You get free emancipation in less than a year. Just don't engage to the best of your ability until then. Update. I guess this is how you do an update. I'm really new here, so let me know if I'm wrong. So I just got done trying to talk to my mom. I tried talking to her calmly about my feelings and how overwhelmed I've been, and she makes me feel bad. It was mostly her screaming, laughing, scoffing, and mocking me. She said some pretty terrible things to me too. She called me a liar, ungrateful, unforgiving, selfish, lazy, manipulative, and crazy. She's letting me use my car for work and school, but that's it. So I guess that's good. I appreciate all of your advice and kind words. It means a lot. I'm a single mother, and I live with my 2 kids, Adam, male 24, and Zoe, teen female. Adam pays me rent, but pays significantly less than he would be paying if he went to go live elsewhere, even with roommates. Rent is very expensive in our area, and he's living with me while working full-time to save up for a deposit on a house. Around a month ago, Adam asked if his girlfriend of 10 months, Millie, 23, could stay in his room, as she didn't get along with her parents and was struggling to find somewhere to live. I agreed because they're both adults, and I've met Millie quite a few times, and I thought she was a really nice girl. At first it was going fine, but last week something happened. I came home from work a few hours early, and I walked in on Millie, yelling in Zoe's face and swearing at her. Millie went silent when she noticed me, and I asked what the heck was going on. Millie ran off to her and Adam's room, and Zoe was crying. I asked Zoe what happened, and she said that she accidentally spilled Pepsi on Millie's jeans and that she was trying to apologize, but Millie blew up at her. I knocked on the door and told Millie we needed to talk. I asked her for her side of the story, and Millie accused Zoe of spilling her drink on purpose and pretending it was an accident, and said that they were very expensive jeans. I told Millie that I'd get Zoe to wash her jeans for her. Millie had a blank look. I asked Millie what she thinks could help make things right, To which she said, I don't know. I told her I understood that she was annoyed, but she doesn't get to treat my minor daughter like that, and that if she does it again, she'll be out. If she has another problem involving Zoe that isn't an emergency, she should contact me before taking it in her own hands. I left it at that. Zoe washed her jeans and returned them to her clean and dry the next day. Millie told Adam what happened, and they're both accusing me of being unfair and said that my comment about Millie being out was abusive. I think what I did was perfectly fair. I told my older sister about what happened and asked what she thought, and she said that I was being too harsh on Adam and Millie, and I needed to chill. So now you know why Millie doesn't get along with her parents. You are not the idiot. I would ask Zoe if this happened before. Millie's willingness to go ballistic on Zoe was inappropriate and abusive. Adam is getting a toned-down version of what happened if he thinks Millie's not at fault. I would keep an eye on her. Exactly, OP. Please talk to your daughter about this and check in on her, and make sure she knows to come to you if they treat her that way again. Also, did she not know washing machines were a thing? It's Pepsi, not acid. It'll wash. She was struggling to find somewhere to live. Gee, I wonder why. She has to go. She felt comfortable enough to casually abuse your daughter in her own home and then doubled down and said your daughter did it all deliberately to justify her response. She wants to punish. That may be your son's thing, but he absolutely cannot visit that upon his sister. Your son will threaten to go as well. Help them pack. I'm a single dad of 2 girls, both very young. They go to the same school, and their mom and I take turns in picking them up and dropping them off at school. Their mom started dating this guy, Sean, exactly 4 months ago. He's moved in already and is living with the girls as well as at their mom's place. I got a call from their mom the other day asking for my approval to put Sean on the girls' school emergency contact list. I laughed at first thinking, are you serious? What should I do that for? She got angry and said, well, he bought a new car. I asked what this has to do with it. She explained that she had to start working more and may not be available in case of an emergency and wants Sean to be able to act on her behalf if and when something happens. I said that if and when something happens, God forbid, then the last person I want acting in an emergency is her boyfriend of 4 months. I called her delusional and told her that she shouldn't put work over an emergency, basically her daughter's safety for goodness sake. She got angrier and called me unhinged, jealous, uncooperative, and nasty, and said that I clearly didn't have the girl's best interest at heart. I hung up, but she kept calling, and then had her mom tell me to do it and stop being petty just because I don't like the guy, who, by the way, is the girl's future stepdad. I've been getting heat from my in-laws because of my refusal, which makes me want to reconsider, but I don't know, and I don't feel comfortable with this request. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. A boyfriend of barely 4 months moving into a household with 2 very young girls would set all of my warning bells off. All of the statistics and averages about their safety would tell me to legally intervene in this new setup, as in revisiting custody. At the very least, I'd have a background check done, but that's me. He might be a decent human being, but the mom is definitely not thinking critically. No way would I want this guy to have emergency pickup rights legitimately. He might become their stepdad in the future, but currently, he's just a boyfriend of an insignificant time frame who moved in very quickly. He's already called the future stepfather. I mean, the guy could be the best thing since sliced bread, but 4 months? 4 months? Don't most family therapists and child psychologists recommend delaying introductions until a good 6 months or so? Yeah, I'm sorry, but other arrangements for emergencies can be made. Why do people insist on getting the whole family involved in things like this? Since when is it appropriate for an entire family to call and text and give someone crap for an argument they're having with a spouse or an ex? At 4 months, the kids shouldn't have even met this guy, let alone be living with him or having him on the emergency contact list. I'd do a background check on this guy to put my mind at ease. I, male teen, have a stepmom, Carrie, 46. She's been my stepmom since I was 6. My mom and dad divorced when I was a toddler, after he caught my mom cheating. My mom then moved in with her affair partner, Tim. Tim has always been a huge idiot. At first he seemed nice, but then after he and my mom got married, he became insulting, and he's always tried to get me to call him Dad, even though he knew I hated him. Tim would say things like, "I stepped up to take care of you while your deadbeat father stood around and did nothing, so call me Dad." Even though my dad has most of the custody, and Tim never even did anything to take care of me. Like when I was 10 and it was raining, I called him and asked him to pick me up from school, but he told me to shut up and he was watching football, so I had to walk home in a t-shirt and shorts while it was raining. And then when I got home, my mom yelled at me for being wet. 2 years ago, I had enough and went to live with my dad full time, and I refused to see my mom or Tim. As far as I'm concerned, they're dead to me because they treated me like crap for years. My stepmom, Carrie, has always helped me escape from my dad and Tim's toxicity. When I was little, she would read me bedtime stories and would play with me. She's an amazing person, and I consider her to be my real mom. Last year, my dad got sick, and he was worried that he may not live. So Carrie brought up the idea of adopting me so I won't have to go and live with my mom and Tim if my dad dies. They asked me how I felt, and I said absolutely, and we immediately signed the adoption papers. My mother then gave up her parental rights, and honestly, I was happy, but also sad because it meant that she didn't care about me. The conflict comes up though, because yesterday, Tim showed up at my dad's house and demanded that I go to my mom's with him. I told him no and to screw off, and he got angry and said, "I'm your father, you little brat, so get your butt over here and get back to your real parents' house." By this point, my dad came out and threatened to call the police, so he left. Now Carrie and my dad are getting crap from my bio mom's family on social media for her adopting me. So I want to know if I was wrong to let Carrie adopt me. Am I the idiot? Absolutely not the idiot. And it sounds like your stepdad just learned about not being able to claim you as a dependent on his tax returns. The idiot in this situation is your stepdad, not you. She voluntarily terminated her rights. She and Tim are legal strangers to you now and have zero power or authority over you whatsoever. None. They can't command you to do anything ever again. You never have to see either of them again if that's what you want. You deserve to be happy and feel safe and loved. Your new mom sounds like a wonderful lady who loves you very much. Your bio mom needs to call off her flying monkeys and leave you guys alone. Please document or have your parents document all of this behavior and make a case to get a restraining order. Your dad is protecting you. If your mom wanted to be your real mom forever, she should have done a better job of it. However, if your stepmom is the one who's been in the role of mom and who you'd want to live with if your father passed, it makes sense to allow her to adopt you, and it's wonderful that she cares enough to do so. I'm sorry those people are doing this to you when you're already going through such a difficult time.